For decades, Bradley Walsh has been more than just a household name. To millions, he's the quick-witted, endlessly charming host of The Chase, the man whose laughter can fill a studio and whose warmth can light up even the gloomiest afternoon. From his days as a professional footballer to his early stints on Coronation Street, to becoming the face of some of Britain's most beloved game shows, Bradley's career has been a story of resilience, reinvention, and relentless optimism. But behind the sparkle of television lights and the comfort of his familiar smile, Bradley Walsh has been carrying a burden few could have imagined. And in a moment that stunned fans and friends alike, he has finally opened up, in the most raw and unfiltered way, about a painful health battle that has quietly been reshaping his life. This isn't a press release. This isn't a polished PR statement. It's one man speaking from the heart, and one woman by his side refusing to let him face it alone. It happened not in a glossy ITV press conference or on a special episode of The Chase, but in a private, quiet setting, an intimate gathering of friends, producers, and family. Bradley, normally the life of the room, looked different that day. Those who were there say his smile was softer, his hands clasped together in a way that betrayed both nerves and determination. And then, in a voice that trembled just slightly, he began. He spoke of the warning signs he had brushed aside, the mornings when fatigue felt heavier than usual, the moments on set when a dull ache in his chest or a stiffness in his joints made him pause mid-sentence. He'd laughed it off at first, blaming it on getting older or too many custard creams at lunch. But as the months passed, the signs became harder to ignore. Bradley admitted that he had always believed himself invincible. After all, he'd been through career highs and lows, physical injuries from his football days, and grueling filming schedules without missing a beat. But this was different. Without going into every medical detail, he revealed that his condition was chronic, not life-ending, but life-changing. It couldn't be fixed with a quick operation or a couple of weeks' rest. It would require a complete rethinking of how he lived, worked, and took care of himself. The room was silent. If Bradley's words brought the room to a standstill, it was Donna Derby's reaction that etched the moment into everyone's memory. Donna, the woman who has stood beside Bradley for over 30 years, who has seen every triumph and every setback, sat just a few feet away, her eyes locked on his. As he spoke, her hand reached for his, fingers intertwining like they had done thousands of times before. In moments of joy, in moments of uncertainty, in moments when words simply weren't enough. Those who know her will tell you that Donna has always been poised, fiercely loyal, and fiercely protective of her family. But that day, she wasn't the former dancer, choreographer, or glamour model. She was a wife, hearing the man she loved admit to a truth he had been carrying quietly for too long. Her grip never loosened, her gaze never wavered, and though her voice remained silent, her presence spoke volumes. I'm here. Whatever this is, whatever it becomes, I'm here. Bradley's career has always been defined by momentum. On The Chase, he films 5 episodes a day, often cracking jokes until the crew is in stitches. Off-screen, he's appeared in Doctor Who, starred in dramas, hosted countless specials, and even taken on grueling travel shows with his son Barney. But his diagnosis brought him to a sobering realization. The pace that had once been his pride was now his greatest risk. I've always been the bloke who says yes to everything, he admitted. But I've had to learn saying yes to everything can mean saying no to your health. For the first time, Bradley openly spoke about the possibility of scaling back, choosing fewer projects, taking longer breaks between shoots, and focusing on the work that truly matters to him. This wasn't retirement, far from it, but it was a shift, one that fans will notice, and one that Bradley hopes will allow him to keep doing what he loves for years to come. For a man whose brand is laughter, illness can feel like the ultimate betrayal. Bradley shared that there were days on set where his energy was so low he'd duck backstage between rounds of the chase, close his eyes for just a minute, and will himself to push through. And yet, every time the cameras rolled, there he was, that signature grin, that mischievous glint in his eye, that warm banter with contestants and chasers alike. Fans at home saw a man in his prime. Only those closest to him saw the quiet moments after the show, when he'd rub at a sore joint or sit in thoughtful silence, lost in the awareness that something had shifted. In the weeks after Bradley's admission, Donna made her own choice. Friends say she began quietly reorganizing their lives, not in a way that made Bradley feel fragile, but in a way that protected the pockets of peace they so rarely had. She turned down certain public appearances. She suggested shorter filming trips. She encouraged more weekends at home, just the two of them, or with their son Barney. And Bradley, ever the joker, teased her about wrapping him in bubble wrap. But he knew this was her way of fighting alongside him. When Bradley finally decided to speak publicly, he did so not to seek pity, but to encourage others. He urged people to listen to their bodies, to get checked when something feels wrong, and to never assume that busy schedules and full diaries make you immune to health issues. I've been lucky. Lucky to have Donna, lucky to have Barney, lucky to have mates who tell me to slow down when I'm too daft to see it myself. But a lot of people don't have that. So if my speaking up makes one person take better care of themselves, it's worth it. Bradley's not disappearing from our screens. In fact, he's already making plans for the projects he will take on, ones that inspire him, ones that give him joy, ones that allow him to balance his health with his passion. There will be more moments on the chase, more adventures with Barney, more appearances where that trademark smile reassures us all that the nation's favorite showman is still very much with us. But there will also be more quiet days in the garden, more early nights, more dinners with Donna, where the only audience is each other.